I've been cutting things out in Photoshop for about 20 years now. It's a long time. Now we're going to cover what tools you need to use in this video. We're going to look at the process, and we're also going to look at something else that I can't quite remember. Yes, how to get much better edges, and so you can scale your product up and have it look fantastic at larger sizes, even if it does pixelate. So there's a lot to unpack here. So we're going to jump into Photoshop and get started. So for this example, we have two images, a backdrop, and we have a perfume bottle. So first of all, we're going to pen tool the perfume bottle, and the pen tool is something I would always recommend when it comes to cutting out products because you get a nice clean edge and you can make a few adjustments that we'll come back to later. So first of all, we're going to click and drag, and we're going to go around the edge of the perfume bottle. And I would always recommend just cutting ever so slightly inside the product, even if it's just 1 or 2 pixels. So we're going to click and drag, and then click and drag again. And the reason we're cutting into the product ever so slightly is because if we don't, and we kind of cut too far outside of the edge, you're going to get this white edge of the background around the outside of the product. So we definitely want to avoid that. And as you can see, I'm zooming in here, and you can click and drag and hold shift if you want to snap the pen tool vertically or horizontally. And something else I should probably mention is before using the pen tool, in the top left corner, you can see the drop down is set to path. And this is quite important. So we're just drawing a work path. I'm going to obviously speed this up now. If you don't have this set, you will just draw a shape with a color. And I cover using this tool and all the different things you can do with it in a lot more detail in my Photoshop courses. But there we go. We've completed the path around the outside of the product. Now, this next step is very important. We want to save all of this work that we've just done. So by default, you will have a work path, and I've actually got a path one here already from earlier. So we'll just get rid of that. You won't see that by default. You'll have a work path. If you make a new path, it will replace this. So what we have to do is double click in this space, and then we can give this path a name. This will save this to this particular file. And a quick bonus tip, you can save a path with a JPEG file type. Now we're going to hold Command or Control and click on the path. This is going to make a selection. And now from the bottom of the layers panel, we can click this icon here to add a layer mask, and this will remove the background. Now you can add another mask, but we don't want to do that. Instead, from the path panel, we want to select the path that we've saved and then click add layer mask icon there. And you can see it adds that path as a vector mask. And this is great because the edge is now effectively a clean vector. And this is useful if you're going to scale up a product shot larger than its native size. The product itself might pixelate, but the edge is going to be super crisp. Right, now we've held Command or Control and clicked the layer mask, we have a selection, and we're going to contract this, and I would recommend using feather after as well. So we're going to contract the selection by maybe 1 to 2 pixels just to bring it inside so we don't get any background. And then if you go and feather it by a very small amount, 0.5 pixel, 1 pixel, 2 pixel, depending on your size, definitely do that as well. Then go ahead and delete the layer mask, then add a new one with the contraction and the feathering. And you'll see here if I hide the mask and then show it again, the original pen tooled edge is too hard, too perfect. And just by adding a little bit of feathering and softening that edge, you get something that's much more realistic. Because nothing in this world is actually that sharp, unless it's maybe like a clay tempered katana sword or something. But this is a bottle, so we'll keep it realistic. And this is something that I use for all my product shots. Now what we're going to do is duplicate the layer, and we're going to duplicate this into the backdrop image. So let's go ahead and close this down. You can save it with the path if you want. And we've got the product here. So let's just scale it down, and we're going to pop it on this little, I don't even know what you'd call that, plaque? Podium? No, it's certainly not a podium. Circular cylindrical disc. And then what we're going to do is turn the backdrop into a new layer, and then convert this to a smart object. Now we can adjust the scaling and make a bunch of changes without destroying the original image. And we're going to center everything on the canvas, because if you can lean into symmetry, it's always really nice. Symmetry, balance, all that good stuff. Right, first up, we're going to use the hue saturation adjustment layer to just take out the color. And now we're going to add another adjustment layer, which is curves. Click this icon here. And this enables us to click on certain parts of the image. It might be the shadows, midtones, or the highlights, and just drag up and down and freely adjust it directly on the canvas. And as you can see, all the stuff on the little bar graph thing, that all gets taken care of. Now we're adding a solid color adjustment layer. We're just going to pick a blue. Now don't worry if this isn't the color of your dreams and it does look a bit weird. We can change this later, but we're going to just change the blending mode first of all to color. You can also try hue, just see which one gives the best result. And we'll bring the opacity down. And this just gives the cloth in the background, the whole backdrop really, just a slight blue hue. Ooh. Nice rhyme down. Good job. And there we go. This is the fundamental first step in cutting out a product, putting it in a scene before you then move on to compositing and retouching everything together. And if you do want to take the next step and learn how to do this professionally, I've got my full Photoshop courses linked in the description.